Oplan Eleksyon, the senatorial interviews.
Ipinanganak sa San Francisco, California si Edu Manzano, pero dito siya sa Pilipinas gumawa ng pangalan. Kilala siyang aktor na may halos 100 pelikula at naging TV host sa loob ng halos 3 dekada. Pero bukod sa pagiging aktor, sumabak din siya sa politika. Naging vice mayor siya ng Makati noong 1998 hanggang 2001. Sa panahong ito ay naging national president siya ng Vice Mayor's League. 2004 naman nang naging chairman siya ng Optical Media Board. 2010 ay tumakbo siya sa pagka-vice-presidente, katambal si Ibo Teodoro, pero parehas silang natalo. Ngayong taon naman ay tumatakbo siya sa pagkasenador sa ilalim ng Team Galing at Puso ng tambalang Paul Escudero.
At makakapanayam naman natin ngayon para sa ating Oplan e-Leksyon, the senatorial interview, si Edu Manzano ng Team Galing at Puso. Magandang umaga po, Edu.
Good morning, Howie.
Okay. So, you've had experience in politics, of course, both executive, mostly executive, no? So, yung naging vice mayor ka ng
Makati,
Makati?
and the legislative aspect of being the presiding officer ng Konseho.
Okay, that was a while back. Pero paalala mo lang sa ating mga mananood, anong pinaka maipagmamalaki mo nung nagserbisyo ka bilang vice mayor ng Makati?
Well, nung ako yung naging vice mayor ng Makati, I was the fiscalizer. Yun ang bansag sa akin eh. Sa aming tatlo yun eh. Ang iyong lingkod, si Councilor Robert Dean Barbers at Konsehal Mark Joseph. Minsan sinasabi nga kaming hindi nagpo-perform because bumabagal ang takbo sa konseho. Pero ang naging problema namin before, was sinusuri namin mabuti yung mga dumada na mga purchase orders, mga requests sa amin, which now, pagkatapos ng series of how many hearings sa Senado, has somewhat vindicated yung mga efforts namin noon.
Okay, kasi nung vice mayor ka, mayor naman yung asawa ni Vice President Jojo Binay, si Dr. Elenita Binay. She served for 1 term, you served for 8 term, but during that 1 term as vice mayor, kinasuhan mo sila, no? Meron kang inilabas, sabi mo nga, fiscalizer, meaning you were taking a close look at yung mga transactions ng Makati City government. And then, this is over 10 years ago, no? 2000, 2001, a while back. Pero yung mga kaso noon, parang hanggang ngayon ay sa tingin mo, buhay na buhay pa.
Nung we brought it to the attention ng Office of the President, it was quite surprising because
President Erap at that time.
At that time, wala nangyari, hindi kumilos eh. Kumbaga, nandyan lang. So, we left it to politics. Sabi nga natin, wala tayong magagawa. Tignan natin kung ano ang mangyayari. Eventually, we were surprised to see na binuhay yung kaso and it took its natural course to the Ombudsman and eventually sa Digan Bayan.
So this is under President
Gloria Macapagal Arroyo at natuloy dito kay President Benigno Aquino.
Well, ano specifically? Are they the same projects? Kasi yung isa talagang nag-umpisa nito, yung Makati City Hall Parking Building 2, no? Then lumaki ng lumaki. But back then, ano ba? Malaking proyekto rin ba yung nadiskubre?
Noon pa lang, maaga na, nagsisimula na yung construction. Nandun na yung sinasabing yung Makati Science High School, yung UMAC, and then yung Hospital ng Makati.
Okay, pati yung UMAC, no? University of Makati Hospital ng so infrastructure projects din.
It was it was a time where money was just going straight to puro mga infrastructure projects.
Okay, nabanggit nga dun sa AV, before this interview, pinanganak ka sa San Francisco as a US citizen, and then you had your own problems when you wanted to go into politics. Very similar ba yung naging sitwasyon yun ni Senator Grace po? Of course, she was not born there, no? She was a naturalized citizen, pero nagkaroon ka rin ng problema.
Nagkaroon lang ng problema nung kinwestiyon, nung nakalabang ko, yung tinalo ko si Ernesto Mercado. But that time was katandem ni Mrs. Binay. So,
you were running for vice mayor at that time.
Vice mayor naman ako. So, inakyat yung kaso ko sa Korte Suprema. And then, after a while, nakapagdesisyon ng Korte Suprema in my favor. Ang sinabi lang nila, was dahil ako ipinanganak sa Amerika, it's an application of 2 laws. Sa Amerika, it's jus soli. Kahit anong citizenship mo. Pero kung doon ka ipanganak, automatic American citizen. Kahit taga-Norway ka o taga-Iceland, hindi importante yan. Pero doon ka ay pinanganak. Dito naman sa Pilipinas, ito ay base sa dugo, jus sanguine, kung ano ang dugo ng magulang mo. So, kahit na po ito sa Amerika, ang parents ko, well, natural born and
pareho.
full-blooded Filipino.
Okay. Pero anong masasabi mo dun sa mga kritiko na hindi buo yung iyong pagka-Pilipino dahil doon ka nga ipinanganak?
Well, actually, doon ako pinanganak dahil nag-aaral ang magulang ko. My father went to America to pursue higher learning. So he ended up in the University of San Francisco. And then he met my mother, they fell in love, and they had us. So it was not by choice. Nagkataon lang na in the pursuit of higher education, doon kami pinanganak.
So, gaano ka-importante ba yung citizenship sa patriotism, loyalty? Kasi yun nga, narinig natin ngayon yan sa iyong kandidato na it's really what's inside that really matters.
Well, Howie, nakakalimutan din kasi nung iba that I was born 1955. Noong 1951, meron tayong Mutual Defense Treaty with the United States kung saan nations will come to each other's rescue in the event that their security is threatened. Nung ako nag-sign up for the Vietnam War, that was in 1971. Meron na tayong Philippine presence din eh. It was in the form of the PhilCAG.
Teenager ka pa nun siguro, no? 1971. You signed up to be a soldier to fight in the Vietnam
Fight in the
War.
war. Actually, lahat kami magkakapatid. So, 17 pa lang, we signed up. Nandun na si Fidel V. Ramos. It was the Philippine Civic Action Group of PhilCAG. So, at that time, pinapayagan ng Pilipino lumaban sa Vietnam without relinquishing any form of citizenship. But that's why it was called the Mutual Defense Treaty.
Okay, and then, so, you know, in other words, you were willing to die for another country.
At that time, yes, we were willing to die for the Philippines. Excuse me.
But it was, hindi naman gera ng Pilipino yun, di ba? Gera ng mga Amerikano yun.
No, at that time kasi, kaya ang Pilipinas, pinayagin na rin ang PhilCAG punto ron. It's because ang ipinaglalaban was the spread of communism in Southeast Asia. So ayaw ho natin mapasukan tayo ng komunismo. Yun ang rara cry ng aking ama noon eh. My mother was also a Filipina who was awarded the Medal of Freedom by the U.S. government, by the U.S. President, no less, for her efforts during the Japanese occupation. And my father also was with Colonel George Rowe, the very popular George Rowe who was assassinated not very far from here. My father was his chief intelligence officer.
Okay. In the last presidential election, in sa mga surveys, no, before you decided to run for vice president under presidential candidate Gibo Teodoro, you were actually rating high as a possible senatorial candidate. You decided not to run for the Senate and ran for vice president instead. Of course, you lost. No, but do you regret that now? Because now you're not rating as high as a senatorial candidate. Sana senador ka na sana ngayon.
I don't regret anything. Ang nangyari kasi doon, Gibo himself was not yet being considered. And then he was presented as a possible candidate. I have known Gibo Teodoro since he was in short pants. Kaibigan ko na siya. At alam ko yung kanyang kakayahan. At I would like to say that to this day, kapag umiikot ako ng Pilipinas, marami nagsasabi, he would have been a better president. Many people
Than
still
the current
feel...
one.
Than the current one.
Okay, I'll have to ask you for short answers to the following. No? Kung ikaw ay manalo, ano bang unang ipapanukala mong batas?
Para sa akin, bukod sa edukasyon, pinaka-importante yung job creation. You know, it's very hard to say na tayo ay isang maunlad at progressive na nation kung may 10 milyong Pilipinong umalis ng bansa para magtrabaho at kasalukuyang libo-libo, 5,000 more are leaving every day. So it has to be job creations created internally para sa Pilipino.
Okay, anong paninindigan mo sa issue ng divorce? Would you support a divorce law for the Philippines? As you know, we're one of the only countries in the world, or the only country in the world without a divorce law.
Marami ayaw magsagutin yan eh because they fear of a possible Catholic backlash, no? But I would have to say yes. I see too many people living in under conditions that are totally undeserving. Some people I know for a fact deserve to live a better life.
And I have to mention, of course, that you were once married to Governor Vilma Santos.
Yes.
And then, ano nangyari po doon? Of course, we don't have divorce, and now she's married to Senator Ralph Recto. So, you had it annulled?
Through the Apostolic Nunciatur.
Through the church?
Yes, through the church.
And then, civil. Kasi marami nagsasabi na that's kind of a divorce. So, paano may iba yung divorce law na ina-advocate mo, or you would agree with, versus yung prosesong dinaanan mo?
No, as is usually the case in many instances, tayo kasi mahilig tayo sa pasukan isang bagay tapos kung hindi natin gusto bigla kang alis. This would have to be a divorce that can be granted kung you will meet certain criteria. It's not just something you can just jump into and think of your last resort, sige, mag-divorce na tayo.
Parang sa ginagawa sa Las Vegas.
Oo, ganun kasimple. Oo.
Okay, so nasa batas yan.
May proseso and there's criteria.
Okay, same-sex marriage, would you support a law that would legalize it?
Under the law, there's no such thing as same-sex marriage. Civil union, I think, would be a better term, but at the same time, granting them
With all the rights?
and benefits of a rightfully married couple.
Okay, pagpapalibing ni dating Pangulong Marcos sa libingan ng mga bayani, would you agree with that?
Well, at this point in time, it's been how many years? We're still at each other's necks. Maybe for the fact that he was once a Filipino president, I would give it to him.
Okay, so that's a yes. Pagpapaba ng income tax?
Ay, dapat lang. Dapat lang. I believe that, everybody talks about not being able to meet collection targets, in the event we bring down. But why don't we look at better collection revenue?
From other sources,
There are
aside
other
from
sources.
personal income tax?
How many people actually are paying income tax? At the same time, we should invite more business into the country, not just yung hedge fund managers. We should invite actual foreign direct investment.
Okay, with that, maraming salamat, Edu Manzano.
Maraming salamat, Howie.
Tumatakbo sa pagkasenador sa ilalim ng Team Galing at Puso. Thank you.